And we got a brand new video coming up from the Smashing Pumpkins, plus the latest from Radiohead. I'm Matt Pinfield. Sitting next to me right now is No Doubt, whose third album is called Tragic Kingdom. And let's say hello to everybody here. We got Gwen, Tom, Tony, and Adrian from No Doubt. Great to have you here. It's totally cool. 1987 was the year that the band got together, right back in your hometown of Anaheim. And one of your earliest gigs, we talked a lot of times about the ska, different times of ska resurgence. Not calling you a ska band, but you know the ska resurgence of originally with the in the '70s with Specials, Madness, Selector, English Pete, and then of course with Angelo and Fishbone and the Untouchables and a lot of other things that were happening. One of your first gigs ever was opening for the Untouchables, which I think was kind of actually towards the end of their contract period, right? But how did you get together originally? Were you really interested in ska, or was it something that just became fused into the music that you were doing?
From the beginning, we were always influenced by ska, but we never, labeled ourselves a ska band. We always just had that influence in our music. So we consider ourselves a rock band that plays ska and soul and a little bit of hardcore and, just mix up styles and stuff like that. But we grew up listening to ska and bands like Fishbone and stuff like that. We had the pleasure of playing with those bands. Awesome experience.
We're still doing it. Yeah, we're still together. So that was in Anaheim, which it was a big area for that as well, right? I mean, besides a lot of
I mean, back then we were kind of like just imitating the music that we loved. We were so young, and it was like that's what we were into. So of course we're going to play that kind of music, But everybody in the band, as they came, started getting in the band, they all come from such different backgrounds. So how could we be a ska band? There's just no way. I mean, Tom's like Mr. Judas Priest, and Tony's Mr. Prince guy, and so it's just like, from the very beginning, we were striving to like have our own sound, which I think everybody tries to do,
Exactly, to create your own thing, and it's great because it is a lot of styles that are fused together. Right. I think it works really well. We're going to talk more with No Doubt just a little bit, but right now we've got a brand new one from the Chicago band Stabbing Westward. Their second album is called Wither, Blister, Burn, and Peel, and the first video off it is for a song called What Do I Have to Do? Here it is on 120 Minutes. Album Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. That's Smashing Pumpkins, their brand new video for 1979 here in 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield, hanging with No Doubt. It's really good to have you here. One of the things that's I've always found really strong about the band, and friends of mine on both coasts and anywhere where you've toured, always talked about how cool your live show is and how much energy there is in that. Tell me a bit about, was the live thing really the main thing you were always striving for originally? I mean, besides recording, out where you play, there's a lot of different bands, a lot of competition with bands that are real energetic. So not only do you have a camaraderie and a great bunch of friends that are bands out there, but everybody really tries to make sure that the show has a lot of energy and energy level.
Yeah, we've always been like a live band. That's what we've kind of been good at or whatever, you know. I don't know why, we just always, put a lot of energy into the live show, and we kind of had to learn how to like make records. Studio is so different, and finally I think on this record we were able to like capture some of that energy, and not necessarily by like playing really hard or whatever, but there's just so many tricks that we learned in the studio to make it sound like a record, not like a demo finally, but we still, live is like, we're planning to tour the rest of the year, and this is just like, what we like to do, so.
We have so much fun playing live. We feed off the audience, and, we have such a great time. It's been something that we can always look forward to through our tough times.
Right, the natural exchange. That makes it worthwhile when all the other rough stuff that's going on. We'll touch back on more things in just a couple minutes. Right now, though, we've got to let people know what's happening on alternative radio this week on 120 Minutes. Here are the top 10 singles, but we're coming back, like I said, with Just a Girl, that video, which I know you all love. We'll see in a couple minutes. Here's those singles. We've got the latest from Radiohead coming up, plus a brand new one from Ruby. I'm your host, Matt Pinfield. I'm here with No Doubt on 120 Minutes. And let's talk about Just a Girl, which is really, it's blown up. It's exploded, which is so good to see, especially after, like I said, seeing the band live at Board in Orange County and seeing the way you've interacted with your audience. It's good to have a lot of other people find out about the band so that maybe they can go, not only buy the record, but experience the band live. Just a Girl talks about a lot of female stereotypes and just being really frustrated by them. And I've also read where you've said in the past that just having to prove yourself as a female in a really energetic kind of rock band, that's always been a bit of a struggle too at times, but you've overcome that.
Yeah, it's been a big I mean, we've been together so long that I've been able to like see the change in just the attitude of girls at shows. I know for me, when I used to go see bands when I was 16, 17, I was like, you know, I was in love with the lead singer, or I was there to like, you know, gawk over, you know, the guys in the band. It wasn't, I mean, and the music, but I think for a girl to come to a show, it's kind of like, you know, they get that whole part of it too. And finally, I think these days, the girls that come to our shows, they come and they get to experience the music, just like how the guys go, you know, to just go off or whatever. The girls get to do that now, with No Doubt, I think. And I mean, but in the past, it was like, oh, you know, No Doubt. They'd come, the girls would come, and they'd be like, oh, who's she up there? You know, they had a different attitude. And now it's like, yeah, we're all here together, and it's just different. It's neat to see the change.
Exactly. Plus, they also probably know that you're speaking to them too,
right?
Kind of for them with some of their ideas, not just going there for the energy and the mosh and the jam, but there's something else that they can get out of it with the lyrics as well.
Definitely.
Which is really cool. I like that a lot. And we're going to show that video right now from the album Tragic Kingdom. Here's No Doubt and Just a Girl in 120 minutes. With the third video off their second album, The Bends, that's Radiohead and High and Dry here on 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield, hanging with No Doubt. Still hanging, it's cool. That was a good video we saw before by you, too, which always gets you. Love that riff, too, you know, that just catches, it's bang, it just goes in and out of your head all the time. Let's talk about, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, this record was a long time in the making, and particularly Interscope Records. You were the second band ever signed to that label after Gerardo with Rico Suave. Remember that whole thing?
We remember it.
I know.
Marky Mark.
Right. I joke around about that all the time. But anyway, you know, there was all that time in between the actual record coming out, some personnel changes within the band, yet you've come back strong. You've kept a great attitude. What would you attribute that to, you know?
Yeah, well, what do you guys
patient
think?
people.
Patient people.
We were very patient.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that, you know, really the live show is what's kept us going, and having that, it really helps. And I don't know, all the bad times, I kind of think that maybe they were meant to be, because I think the record and the lyrics and the energy and, you know, the realness of the record just came through with all those hard times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
I hate to like admit that. Like, I'm not going to admit it. I'm just going to say that we probably would have made a rad record if everything would have went really smooth and quick. But
it taught us a lot. It makes us. We're really grateful for everything that we're experiencing right now. We've learned that the music business is really fickle, and you know, the industry is really fickle, and things could be great today and tomorrow they could be gone just like that.
Yeah.
So, we're on the TV right now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so exciting. It's like,
We're ready to go back to school next year if it has to be that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you've had a good year, right? It all worked out. It's great.
Who knows?
Fortunate.
But you're right, and it's true. I mean, a lot of times the bad times really make you stronger for the things that come afterwards, and how to deal with them, being able to deal with them. And I think you're doing a great job. It's an excellent album, and thanks for coming and hanging with me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
It's really good to have all four of you. It's awesome.